for Arunachal. And I was just attending a week back or two. This was like a fairy tale when a union minister comes down and he launches the Unnati scheme in Arunachal Pradesh. I don't know when was the last time we have seen this kind of steps. It fills me with hope. It fills me with pride. So, I saw in the outline of the speech, particularly in the planning department, we are blessed with a visionary planning minister and investment. And now they're talking about bottom-up approach. And I think this should be the way forward. It should not be imposed from the top. And so, as I am touring, I got a Suntain, as I'm touring my constituency, I couldn't agree more. When our chief minister and our deputy chief minister says that we need a bottom-up approach in planning, I cannot agree more. Because planning cannot be from the top. We cannot decide what a village needs in our constituency. The people there, the elected leader, the Panchayat Raj leader, they are the one who can give us the right approach. Gram chairperson, the Jilas, the district, this is the way forward. And I'm so happy to see that it is being outlined in His Excellency's speech as well. So, I'm also, another striking feature that I've seen was the institution of a state-level policy think tank, Institute for Transforming Arunachal. All I can say is that our state is in the right hand. They are coming out with ideas that, as an entrepreneur, I always used to think that it should be the way, and they're doing it. But I must congratulate the state government for coming out with such noble, innovative ideas that we haven't seen so far. Sir, when you talk about the development of Arunachal Pradesh, we cannot ignore and we cannot set aside our strength, which I see in agri, horti and allied activities. Speaker, sir, I believe if we have to grow, then agri, horti has to be sustained. And as for horticulture, sir, we are blessed with 18 lakhs hectare, which is almost the 21% of the total geographical area of the state. We have more temperate land cultivable than the 3 states of India put together: Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand. If you talk about the land we have, it needs the right policy. Then I saw that you have come out with farm to fork policy, and I've seen and I read that there will be an agri-horticulture policy. But I'm also moving a resolution on State Nursery Act, and I think I'm in sync with the state government when I saw they've already deliberated on it. So in the horti sector, if we have to grow, we need training institute. Way back in 2008 and 9, 2 training institutes were established, but it could not function properly. I think we need that institute to be revived and re-established, because our farmer needs the training in a more scientific manner. In that, sir, if I could add, the HFA, which is the frontline worker there, their qualification is class 10 to BA pass. Hoti is a technical line, so is agriculture. We need people, we need resources with that kind of background. In my speech, sir, I would like to propose that can the state government rethink on the recruitment policy, whereby instead of just giving it to the class 10 and the BA pass graduates, can we focus on those students who has done BSc Agri and Hoti? Because they are the right kind of resources that we need to be looking into. And sir, if you do that, I believe Hoti Agri will go a long way. Sir, when they talked about the growth of northeastern state and Arunachal Pradesh, sir, as I was listening to our Trade and Commerce Minister, Piyush Goyal Sahab, in our state banquet hall, which was attended by our Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister as well, he said that our boundary is our opportunity. Sir, Northeast has around 5,700 kilometers of international boundary, out of which Arunachal has around 30% of it. Almost 1,700, I believe. And with Burma, we share around 520 kilometers. And South Tibet, we have more. So very recently, if you look into India and China's bilateral trade, sir, we have crossed $118 billion. China is the largest trading partner of India. Forward. In a small manner, if we have to start, which I believe even Government of Arunachal thinks likewise. And I've heard our Deputy Chief Minister speaking on the Act East policy. I heard him speaking on various occasions on border trade and border hub. So we have to look into the growth of border trade. We have to encourage border hub. And I was just speaking to one of the commissioner, and I was so happy to hear that the land customs station, which was notified in 1951 in Nampong, and I'm told that very soon there will be activity based on that. We might have a land customs station there, like we have in Moreh. Sir, it's time that we have to cry out. It's time that we have to reach out to the Government of India, because Prime Minister himself is emphasizing on acting east. When our dynamic Prime Minister who says, Modi hai to mumkin hai, why don't we seize this opportunity and impress upon the Government of India? And when they talk about सोच बदलना है, perception को बदलना है, तो हम जो प्रिज्म हमने एक बनाया है हमारे चारों तरफ, और हमारे in the mainland India, everything is looked upon certain times through the prism of defense. तो जब हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने सोच बदलने की बात की, जब हमारे फॉरेन रिलेशन मिनिस्टर ने, एक्सटर्नल अफेयर मिनिस्टर ने सोच बदलने की बात की, हमको ऐसा लगा कि उस कहीं में कहीं ना कहीं वो ये संदेश हमें दे रहे हैं कि ये जो सरकार है इस बार हमारे भारत पे, वो पूर्व उत्तर राज्यों को सिर्फ सिक्योरिटी के प्रिज्म से नहीं देखते, वो हमें एनकरेजमेंट दे रहे हैं. एंड आई थिंक, and I would request, Speaker Sir, through you to the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh and the Council of Ministers, sir, can we talk about reviving the border trade. Sir, in 2015, the border trade was abolished. It was made normal trade, sir. And when this was declared, sir, we have only one ICS in Moreh, which handled 98% of the border trade with Burma. It collapsed. Out of the total bilateral trade with Burma, overland trade is only 2%. Out of the 2%, 98% of the trade was handled in ICS Moreh. But as soon as border trade was abolished, that trade collapsed on a border as well. Sir, isn't it time? I know the condition on the other side of the border is not so conducive now. But history is a witness. We have lost opportunity before. I think we should not lose opportunity now in the able leadership of you and Chawnaman, sir. I think we should move a proposal and ask the government of India, can we revive the border trade? Because we have now in Pangso Pass, but we don't know under what modalities that border trade is being operated. Because 2015, all the FTA border trade has been rescinded. They have an FMR regime which allows a Burmese national to come to India, to Arunachal Pradesh, within a range of 16 kilometers with a simple entry pass, not the visas required there, and being monitored by the district administration, supervised by Ministry of Home Affairs. Sir, can we be more innovative there and think and talk to Government of India to revive the border trade? Sir, because if the border trade is reviewed, if it is restarted, it will mean only good thing for a state like Arunachal Pradesh. As I've said before, perception matters. If you look at us now, we might be in a corner. And as I've reiterated before, if you take a circumference with a radius of 1,000 kilometers, we are in the center of 10 Southeast Asian countries. And as I was listening to Prime Minister Ji before, he said, आप कहीं कोने पे नहीं है, आप एक द्वार मार्ग है, आप एक गेट है जहां से इंडिया को आ सकते हैं. When we have a Prime Minister like that, why cannot we cry out? Why cannot we cry out? Sir, we have two committees there in the Trade and Commerce Ministry, sir. Joint Working Group and Joint Trade Committee, which looks after the commercial relationship with Burma and border trade as well. Our honorable MPs here, our MPs need to work and see whether these committees are working or not. Because it is in our interest. Unless we cry out, who will listen to us? This is a democratic setup. We have only 2 Lok Sabha MP. If we were a state like UP, then I don't know what would have happened. But we have only 2 MPs, so we have to understand the reality. And we must cry out, and our MPs needs to be more vigilant. They have to speak. And I know they're speaking, they have to speak more. So as we know, we have a lot of potential. But sir, we are a consumer state. We are not a producing state. Our hope lies in Horti, sir. A product, very recently, Lower Subansiri district, under your initiative, CM sir and DCM sir, 1 district, 1 product. Lower Subansiri has chosen kiwi, and most probably Kipanyor will be choosing black cardamom. Sir, but if you look into the cultivation of these 2, particularly cardamom, sir, and kiwi to that extent, sir, our cardamom garden is getting eaten up. We are losing the cover of this beautiful and the most productive cash crop that we have. And it is because of certain lacuna that I found. And with due humble submission, sir, I'll be moving a resolution soon on the State Nursery Act as well. And I believe that state government will look very leniently and encouraging way on that policy, on the resolution that I'm moving. Sir, there is so much to say. But they say art is long and time is fleeting. But I saw somewhere down deep in my heart, I feel that we are on a cusp of transformation in this state. We need all the legislator to be more active, to follow your footstep. I have seen you and DCM sir traveling around the state, in every corner. I've been following you too. You have gone to the places where none of our CM has reached before, none of our DCM has reached before. And you have gone right from Vijayanagar to your own district, to the district of different belt. And I think it's time, sir, when you're talking about bottom-up approach, all our colleagues, and I believe they are planning, we must go back to our constituency, we must go back to our village. Then only the policy and the plan that has been delineated by our excellency, having faith in the state government, then we can say, yes, we are in the right track. And so, as I was listening to our honorable colleague here and a senior, when he talked about the officers, I cannot agree more. Sir, every 5 years, our ACR is written. And most of the time, in our ACR, when it is written, is full and final. Many of us might not come back in the next assembly. But our officer, they have a long span, a confirmed stand, which will give them a finite years of service. And I've realized, when I was traveling, until and unless the lawmaker of the state, until and unless the PRI leaders of our state, until and unless the implementing agency, which I would say the department, headed by the HODs, by the A's and the J's, until and unless the secretary commissioners, we are in sync. So whatever plan that we make, whatever laws that we'll pass, it will have no fruit. Because until and unless we work as a team on the ground, sir, we cannot achieve anything. And it is no rocket science, sir. If we are together, the points that I've seen as I was going through His Excellency's speech, all the things are possible. It is not impossible, sir, because very recently, as I'm touring, when I went to a school called Balam, sir, when I went in, I saw the school was in a dilapidated condition. So there was no ceiling. It was an old structure. But there was a zeal in the PRI leaders, there was a zeal in the public, and some officers who went with me, there was a zeal in them to do something. When I told them, and they were talking about schemes to revive that school, to get the infrastructure. But when I said, isn't it possible to do it on our own? I said, can't you give the bamboo? You have a bamboo garden, can't you give that? And one PRI leader said, yes, I will give. Another said, I will help and I'll supply the labor force, me myself working on that. Officer said, I will provide. There is no computer. I would like to give it from my own salary. I will give the printer. Some officer said, I'll give the chair. Sir, when we all got together, in a span of 4 days, I can share, I put it up in my Facebook page. Sir, it was done in 4 days. I saw the ceiling was done by bamboo. I saw the compound was being cleaned. I saw the officers contributing. I saw the PRI leader leading the people. Sir, they are learning from you. We are all learning from you too. And I believe in this August House, I can proudly stand and I'll speak as a member of this Legislative Assembly. Yes, Arunachal is in right hand. We are with the right leadership, and we have a government in the center which thinks of taking Arunachal and making Arunachal as one of the engine of growth in the years to come for this beautifully diverse country called India. And if we are together, सर वो बोलते हैं ना, खुद को करो बुलंद इतना कि खुद खुदा बंदे से पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. I think so we are reaching that stage where we will ask, they will ask us rather, आपको क्या पसंद है. And a day will come, and I believe that the international trade will open. Our border, which is porous now, we will be engaging. Dare I say, with a very hostile country, which can become a tradable country. They have become the largest trading partner of India. One day we will be trading with them. A day will come when we will be trading with Burma, and through Burma, we will be trading with the entire Southeast Asian. And like our honorable colleague here, Nick Cummins sir, was saying, and quoting our former minister, Chief Minister, late Dorji Khandu sir, आज हम कटोरा लेके जा रहे हैं. एक दिन ऐसा आएगा कि भारत सरकार हमको पूछेंगे, आपने हमारे जीडीपी पे इतना बड़ा योगदान दिया है. Days are not far. We have the resources, we have the ability, we have the leader like you two who will lead us. And I'm very sure God will bless you too and bless each one of us. And a day will come when we'll all stand together, and they will call us in the parliament of the country and tell us, look at this state called Arunachal, where they were and how they are and what they have achieved. We will become the leader of excellence in time to come. Thank you so much, Speaker sir. I fully agree with all the points, with all the plans that state government has, which was highlighted by a leading light by Her Excellency, our Governor. With this word, I would like to end my proceeding here. Thank you so much. God bless each one of us. Thank you, sir.
Speaker sir, Deputy Speaker sir, thank you for allowing me to participate in the Governor's address delivered to this Assembly on the 15th of June this year. We appreciate the people of the state who had participated wholeheartedly the just concluded election held under the Election Commission of India for both the parliamentary and the state elections, justifying our faith in the democratic credentials of our country and being testimony to the saying that democracy is of the people, for the people, and by the people. The voice of the people of the state has spoken, and that voice has elected the BJP government in Arunachal. Now that the elections are over, I presume the government will sit down to do some serious business. Of working together as one team, Team Arunachal. And a level of gross happiness is reached, wherein there is an equitable distribution of development packages and programs, reaching to every corner of the state, and to truly reach a higher index of happiness. This can only be achieved if we have a vision plan, a plan to reach the last man, which the government is truly focused upon. I am glad that the government is coming up with a bottom-up planning and to take development to the last mile in consultation with stakeholders and to establish the ITA, Institute for Transforming Arunachal. state-level policy think tank and knowledge partner to drive innovation in governance and to enable social transformation of the state. There is a saying that the care of human life and happiness and not their destruction is the first and only object of a good government, which this government truly ensures. Let me focus on 3 points. The governor has stated many, which I cannot go into detail. The problems of unemployment of the youth of our state. The limited economic development has resulted in a significant inability to generate employment opportunities in our state for the youth. This elevation of unemployment dearths and the dearth of job prospects is due to the exacerbation of an absence of industrialization. The government should focus more on this and to create more job opportunities for the youth of our state and to engage them in a positive way to come up with opportunities which are youth-friendly, like tourism and medium and small business, which I presume the government is taking an initiative. I would also like to focus on the very essentials of education. The education in Arunachal Pradesh is a mixed picture with notable challenges and ongoing improvement. The annual status of education report, ASER, 2024 highlighted significant deficiencies in the basic reading and numeracy skill among the youth ages 14 to 18. For instances, 34% of our youth in Papumpari district couldn't read a class 2 level English test fluently. And only 31.9% could solve simple arithmetic problems. And due to low enrollment, 400 schools have been closed. The shortage of teaching staff is for all of us to see. More than 400 more assistant professors are needed in the government's colleges alone. The situation in the private colleges is also not very good. The state government has invested significantly in improving infrastructure. Approximately 1,300 crore was allocated in the last financial year, with further funds planned to the current year. Most of the schools, as many of the members have pointed out, is in a dilapidated condition. So that has to be maintained, and basic school classrooms should be constructed. The basic amenities of drinking water, essentials like toilet, separately for boys and girls, also should be the focus of the education department and the government. Now, the government has come up with a very innovative program of Mission Shiksha throughout the state of Arunachal, wherein it amplifies the growth and the infrastructure development of our schools. I would also like to request the government to kindly include Tirap district in this Mission Shiksha, wherein most of the schools in the districts are in a dilapidated condition, and they require and lack basic infrastructure. So these are policies which the government is adopting, and I'm sure, and with the new year, that this issue will be taken up seriously. And one of the concerns that is very pertinent to my mind personally, and also I feel for the state as a whole, which the governor in his address has left out, and which I would like to emphasize. Here is the acute problem of drug addiction in our state. Drug addiction is a scourge and has cast a dark shadow over the lives of individuals and communities, which poses very serious challenges to communities and our society, and is against the social and economic development of the state. The prevalence of drug addiction has reached such potential dangerous levels that if not checked now, will lead to drastic situations. The planning process which we initiate for the government, all the programs that the government comes up with will become nullified if we could not control the drug addiction of our youth. And in the previous records of last year, the HIV incidence was 1,102 and 12. Now in a short span of 1 year, in 2024, the HIV incidence has rose drastically to 2024. These are issues which we have to focus upon. These are steps which we must be concerned of, because the very essential of our being is the youth of our state. We want our youth to be healthy. We want our youth to be empowered with the basic knowledge and skills. We want our youth to come up with greater knowledge and innovations, not to be taken effect by this dangerous trend. I would like to suggest to the government, particularly the health department, the effort must be made to combat this drug addiction, firstly. Secondly, to generate prevention and creating awareness programs. More awareness programs must be initiated. And thirdly, for its treatment and care with all the humanity that is in our being. And fourthly, to strengthen the law enforcement agencies. The proper surveillance be carried out, and proper check and motivations to our police force must be made. And fifthly, what I feel is that some way or the other, there must be something, maybe external or whatever, to drastically reduce the strength and the pillar of our youth, of our nature. There must be some intention or some intent somewhere of big organizations who are involved in this. And we have to check this, and for this proper checking of this drug addiction, a proper inquiry should be initiated, and all those involved should be dealt with seriously. Another thing that I would like to focus on, Deputy Speaker, sir, is that in the year 2010 and 11, 21 police stations in the TCL region was sanctioned as a special initiative a special package by the Government of India, Ministry of Home Affairs, wherein 21 police stations were either upgraded or newly constructed. Most of the police stations have already been constructed, and within that police station, there is to be a strength of 91 police personnel. Now, what I have inquired from the sources is that there are only 10 to 15 police personnel in each and every new police station that has been constructed. As you all know, TCL region is a sensitive area. So I feel that greater emphasis should be given and focus should be made on strengthening the law and order programs in these 3 districts. And where the infrastructure has been made, keeping the infrastructure vacant without any personnel staying in the campus will lead to further dilapidation of the conditions of those infrastructure that has been created spending so much money. So I feel that this also should be taken into consideration, and lastly, I would also like to give my appreciation to the government and His Excellency the Governor's speech for focusing on the development programs in its entirety, right from each and every individual concern, wherein it will bring out happiness to the people through its development packages and programs. And I'm sure with the target set aside by the government, this can be reached. The Prime Minister's vision of reform, perform and transform should be the agenda which we must embrace for aspirations to a Viksit Bharat 2047. I support the initiative of the government. I support the address of the Governor delivered to the Assembly. Thank you, Deputy Speaker, sir, for giving me permission to speak. Thank you.
Honorable member. Next, Honorable Member Panit.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, for giving
Now, the question is, leave be granted. Those who are in favor of the leave be granted may say ayes.
Ayes.
Those against may say no. I think I have it, I have it, I have it. The leave is granted. Honorable Ministers of Law, Legislative and Justice, Social Justice, Empowerment and Tribal Affairs, Sports and Youth Affairs may now introduce the bill.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to introduce the Arunachal Pradesh Amending Bill 2024.
The Arunachal Pradesh Amending Bill 2024 is introduced. Now, item number 5, part 2, the Arunachal Pradesh Public Examination Measure and Prevent Unfair Means in Recruitment Bill 2024. Now, bill for introduction. The Pema Khandu, Honorable Chief Minister, may move the motion for the leave of the House to introduce the Arunachal Pradesh Public Examination under bracket measures to prevent unfair means in recruitment bracket close Bill 2024.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move for leave to introduce the Arunachal Pradesh Public Examination Measures to Prevent Unfair Means in Recruitment Bill 2024.
Now, the question is, leave be granted. Those who are in favor of leave be granted may say ayes.
Ayes.
Those against may say noes. I think I have it, I have it, I have it. The leave is granted. Now, Honorable Chief Minister may introduce the bill.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I introduce the bill.
The Arunachal Pradesh Public Examination under bracket measures to prevent unfair means in recruitment bracket close Bill 2024 is introduced. Now, item number 5, part 3, the Balipara Tirap Sadia Frontier Track Doom Lane Regulation under bracket Amendment Bill 2024. Now, bill for introduction. The Baro Raja, Honorable Ministers of Urban Development, Town Planning, Urban Local Bodies, Housing, Land Management and Civil Aviation may move the motion for the leave of the House to introduce the Balipara Tirap Sadia Frontier Track Zoom Lane Regulation under bracket Amendment Bill 2024.
Speaker, sir, I rise to move for leave to introduce the Balipara Tirap Sadia Frontier Track Zoom Lane Regulation Amendment Bill 2024.
Now, the question is, leave be granted. Those who are in favor of leave be granted may say ayes.
Ayes.
Those against may say noes. I think I have it, I have it, I have it. Leave is granted. Now, the Honorable Minister of Urban Development, Town Planning, Urban Local Bodies, Housing, Land Development and Civil Aviation may now introduce the bill.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to introduce the bill 2024.
The Balipara Tirap Frontier Sadia Track Zoom Lane Regulation under bracket Amendment Bill 2024 is introduced. Now we'll move to item number 6. Discussion on motion of thanks, Governor address. Now the House will take up discussion on the motion of thanks address to Honorable Governor under the provision of sub-rule 2 of the Rule 13 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. Honorable Governor of Arunachal Pradesh was pleased to deliver his address on 15 June 2024 under Rule 14 bracket 1. I have received notice of the motion of thanks on the address of Honorable Governor. Sri Muthumuthi may move the motion of thanks to the address of the Governor.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move the motion of thanks to the address of the Honorable Governor delivered on 15th June 2024 in the following terms. That the member of the 8th Legislative Assembly of Arunachal Pradesh assembled in this session are deeply grateful to the Governor for the address which he has pleased to deliver to the Assembly on 15th, 2024.
Honorable Member Sri G.K. Tako may seconded the motion.
Sir, I stand for seconded the motion.
Thank you. Now, Sri Muchumiti being the mover may initiate the discussion on Governor address. Honorable members, those who want to participate may please send your names, or you can text me in the desktop, in my table.
Bloody text.
अध्यक्ष जी, आपको धन्यवाद कि आपने राज्यपाल की अभिभाषण के धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव में यह सबसे प्रथम मौका दिया। सबसे पहले तो मैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री पेमा खांडू जी को और उनके सरकार मंत्रिमंडल को बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि 8 साल के जो कार्यकाल है आपने पूरी किया है कुछ दिन पहले, और ये 8 साल बेमिसाल था अरुणाचल के जनता के लिए।